Hey guys, before we discuss the most recent controversial discovery that was made in the Saryarka, a region near the city of Karaganda in Kazakhstan, I feel it is important to note that a possible cover-up has ensued surrounding the finds that have been made. A tomb has been found within what is thought to be the oldest pyramid surviving on Earth. The team of explorers who made the discovery, led by Igor Kukushkin, said that they initially believed that it was likely built for an ancient king or clan leader. However, upon realizing the burial chamber was resting beneath this once enormous mausoleum and that it was found unopened, it has remained undisturbed for undoubtedly many millennia. Soon after the discovery, local authorities, along with rumors of the involvement of other international organizations, cordoned off the entire excavation, subsequently silencing the archaeologists for nearly a year regarding their remarkable finds, also preventing any further exploration of the ruins being reported. Just how long would it take for a once grand pyramid to virtually erode away? And what sort of things were found within this tomb that would require a year-long cover-up? Information relating to the discovery of the pyramid and the subsequent burial chamber was initially filtered to the press, yet no further information regarding this amazing excavation was made public. After over a year of silence, the team have now claimed that the chamber had been robbed some years earlier, conveniently leaving the oldest known pyramidal tomb on Earth empty for all the world to see. Additionally, a large debunking effort has ensued regarding the initial and largely honest conclusions made by many scholars regarding the pyramid's possible age. Many initially concluded that the pyramid actually predated its more well-known neighbors. Located more than 6,000 kilometers away in Giza, by more than 1,000 years not too long ago, when Osiris's tomb was rumored to have been discovered within Gaza, who was said to have been an alien god. A familiar sequence of events were subsequently witnessed shortly after this discovery. Also, could there really be a conspiracy currently being undertaken by unknown powers to conceal the existence of ancient astronauts and possible past alien gods? With so many ancient burial chambers linked to incredibly important and lost segments of our vast ancient past, it is difficult to deny the possibility of such a conspiracy actually being played out in front of our very eyes. What do you think regarding the suppression of such finds? Are the accusations of a conspiracy sheer paranoia? Are these operations just protecting the discoveries from possible corruption? Or could there really be aliens buried within the tombs of pyramids that dot the earth, or possibly even further afield? Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, take care. We most recently covered the remarkable discovery, fortunately made in the presence of numerous parties, from a number of international research panels, including media personnel, fortunate for reasons we previously covered in our last video, regarding the difficulty when such an event occurs in such a situation, to suppress it in the modern age, and the subsequent unusual characteristics of said discovery. A discovery the world has been fortunate to witness, further cementing mounting evidence for the past existence of an ancient, giant civilization with this next discovery. Although completely different in characteristics, we feel its scale alone, with other intriguing features, makes it as equally perplexing. An apparent polar opposite approach in some areas, such as methodology and symbolism, even including stones selected, yet another enigmatic mystery, currently sprouting up all over the Giza Plateau. What we found initially interesting was, just like the other enormous tomb we have covered prior, its sheer size, estimated at nearly 9 feet tall and 3.5 feet wide, just on the insides, amazingly. It also initially appeared, and was initially presumed, to have still somehow been a mysteriously hermetically sealed tomb. This is where the open presses line runs out. Unfortunately, although it would seem the sarcophagus has indeed been opened, it has been done privately by the Smithsonian Institute. The details of what was found inside, what sort of remains, and indeed their claimed identity, continue to be a closely guarded secret and a subject of hot debate, with the Smithsonian merely stating further examinations on the body found inside are being conducted, according to the head of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, quote, There has been a remarkable find in the coastal city of Alexandria. During a routine excavation, experts uncovered a baffling Ptolemaic stone sarcophagus. It has been hailed as a major find, as it can provide insights into the great Hellenistic period in Egypt and its unique culture, end quote. Regardless of academic, historians and certain institutions instantly pushing the notion that they know all about this incredible find, and also what exactly could have been found within that black sarcophagus. We find the ordeal highly compelling. There are varying unexplainable ruins, which either due to their location or sheer enormity, are almost universally known and recognizable, yet nearly all possess hidden factors and layers of truth within simply unexplainable by mainstream academia. Yet along with these tourist magnets, there are an equal number of ruins not well known. Some due to their remote global position, but others due to being actively ignored. And it is these in particular which are of interest to us, as this motivation to ignore such sites must be based on an ulterior motive. This lack of academic funding to explore such sites, we believe and also have discovered to be true over and over again, lies within their controversial and inexplicable nature, and like a set straight out of Indiana Jones. The claimed lost tombs of Mitla are of no exception. Hidden within the Mesoamerican sites of Mexico, it is indeed visited by tourists, yet many are left perplexed. Once they depart, this labyrinth of carefully constructed megalithic tunnels, when looked at critically and honestly, baffle all who investigate the site. Unique factors include its unusual, yet impressive structural design, its competent, delicate stone-cut patterning, not even attempted to be attributed to being Mesoamerican, and simply the overall bizarrely unique method of construction. We feel it has been claimed, and either lazily or conspiratorially, simply written up as a Mesoamerican ruin, with its location nestled amongst this enormous, magnificent complex of pyramids, a still existing part of the lost ancient world, vastly helping in this attempt to explain away its origins. Some of the monolithic lintels employed in the passages of this site, some claiming as an ancient palace, while far more believing it to have once been the now lost tombs of Mitla, possesses a particularly large collection of stones, known as the columns group, measuring 6 meters long, a series of solid basalt megaliths with an estimated weight in excess of 30 tons. The stones came from quarries located a distance of over 10 kilometers away, carried from the lower side of a valley. As mentioned, the location has been coined the Lost Tomb of Mitla. Yet the reality is that Mitla was not a person, but is a long-sought location for the burial of incredibly important historical figures. The name Mitla derived from the Nahuatl name of the same spelling, meaning the place of the dead or underworld. Thus it must be noted that, although this site is of an extraordinary nature, 9 miles away other megalithic tombs, built from equally massive megaliths, have since been found, shedding even more doubt on its true purpose, being that of the tombs of Mitla. Yet regardless to academic claims that it is a standard Mesoamerican ruin, we find such sites highly compelling. On January 25, 2011, the streets of Cairo were being ravaged by a rioting population, demanding the end of President Hosni Mubarak's 30-year regime, while the world was distracted by the dramatic scenes of chaos upon the streets above. Deep within the ancient dusty tunnels, a team of archaeologists led by Suzanne Bickel of the University of Basel in Switzerland was quietly making one of the most significant discoveries of the past century. They had initially found the top of a large, round stone at the eastern end of the Valley of the Kings. The archaeologists suspected that it was just the top of an abandoned shaft, But before they could investigate, due to Egypt's political process regarding finds within the valley, they had to cover the stone rim with their own locked iron door, inform the Egyptian authorities, and apply for an official permit to excavate. A year later, after gaining approval to excavate, Bickle returned with a team of 24 people, including Field Director Elena Paula Guth of the University of Basel, Egyptian Inspector Ali Rita, and local workmen. Each took turns lying on the ground, head pressed against the shaft wall, one arm through a small hole next to the capstone. Snapping photographs, they left little doubt that it was indeed an ancient tomb. On top of the debris rested a dusty black coffin, carved from sycamore wood and decorated with large yellow hieroglyphs on its sides and top. Bickle has stated that she has never seen an Egyptian coffin in such a good condition before. The dating of fragments of pottery made from Nile silt and pieces of plaster, commonly used to seal tomb entrances in ancient times, together with the age of the other nearby sites, have indicated that the tomb could be more than 3,000 years old. The hieroglyphs describe the tomb's occupant as being named Nahimi's bastard. Egyptologists currently believe she was a lady of the upper class and of Amun. People have been claiming there was nothing new left to find in the Valley of the Kings for almost as long as they have been digging there. The Venetian antiquarian Giovanni Belzoni believed he had emptied the last of the valley's tombs during his 1817 expedition, while Theodore Davis, who excavated there a century later, came to a similar conclusion right before Tutankhamun's burial chamber was found. Fortunately, there is a growing number of people who are beginning to suspect that there is a wealth of discoveries still left to be made in the Valley of the Kings, the Nile Delta, and Egyptian as a whole. And thanks to discoveries such as these, interest in these existing mysteries grows by the day. It is interesting to see that in this period, even a wealthy girl was buried with quite simple things. Bickle says, comparing Nahim's Bastet's coffin and stele with the elaborate pottery, furniture, and food found in earlier tombs, her wooden coffin was certainly quite expensive, she says, but nonetheless, it lacked the elaborate inner coffins found in similar burials as this. The burial chamber of an extremely ancient queen. After reinforcing the coffin and securing the mummy, Bickle's team have transported across the Nile to Luxor, where a full investigation is currently being undertaken into the true identity of the mystery female. With substantial insight into the controversial finds within ancient Egypt, we personally suspect that often the tombs, which appear the most crudely designed, containing wooden sarcophagus, are generally found to be the most ancient. Furthermore, their hieroglyphic writings were often far more exquisite in nature. Could this be the discovery of an original burial? And the crude hieroglyphic claim of the occupant's identity of fake hiding the delta's true antiquity. A secret many fringe scientists have begun to believe is being protected by Egyptian antiquities. Many have come to suspect the Egyptians merely copied the original builders of the pyramids. After taking occupation of their structures, many years later, supportive evidence for these claims comes in many forms. Erosion upon the pyramids and especially the Sphinx, including over 100 underground chambers we are currently researching, discovered under Giza in 1995 by a team LED by Kent Weeks, which also show strong evidence of several flash flooding events involving seawater throughout their long existence. The lack of any written detail pertaining to the construction of either monument in any hieroglyphs found in ancient Egypt, and so on, we find it incredibly intriguing that more was not made public regarding this amazing find, which leads us to suspect it may be a highly important, albeit highly controversial, discovery. We will continue to do research on Nahim's Bastet and will endeavor to keep you all informed regarding any notable findings. Many precious artifacts have been recovered within Egypt. Over the years, many ancient Egyptian tombs found intact, untouched for millennia, still containing the valuable items left for their kings, with the intention of their beloved pharaoh's use in their passage to the afterlife, and with the mountains of gold and glistening jewels, which have captured the attention and the hearts of those who have explored these ancient archives. A lot of the most astounding relics go largely unnoticed. The solar boat could be seen as a particularly good example of this mass overlooking of the most interesting of things. At the foot of the Great Pyramid, once beneath several multi-ton, precisely placed blocks of limestone, lay the Khufu ship, a full-sized ancient Egyptian vessel, sealed into a pit over 4,000 years ago. Why is more not heard regarding this astonishing find? Strongly believed to have been built for Khufu, King Cheops, who was the second pharaoh of the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. The ship is now preserved in the Giza Solar Boat Museum, built at the site in 1985. It is completely dedicated to the preservation of the boat, possessing state-of-the-art preservation technologies. Khufu's ship is one of the oldest, largest, and best-preserved vessels from antiquity. It measures 44 meters long and 6 meters wide. It is also acknowledged as the world's oldest intact ship and has been described by all in the know as a masterpiece of woodcraft. It could sail today if put into water. However, what is clearly the most amazing fact regarding the solar ship: the vessel was never intended to sail on water. The solar boat was built to sail through the air. It was built largely of Lebanon cedar, planking in the shell-first construction technique, using unpegged tenons of Christ's thorn. The ship was built with a flat bottom, composed of several planks, but no actual keel with the planks and frames, lashed together with halfa grass. The boat was found complete, but in pieces across the layer's floor, laid in a logically disassembled order beneath the pyramid, subsequently reconstructed from the 24 pieces, which were laid out in order over 45 years prior. It took several years for the boat to be painstakingly reassembled, primarily by the Egyptian Department of Antiquities, Chief Restorer Ahmed Yusuf Mustafa. Before reconstructing the boat, he had to gain enough experience on ancient Egyptian boat building. He studied the reliefs carved on walls and tombs, and many of the little wooden models of ships and boats found in tombs. Ahmed also visited the Nile boatyards of Old Cairo and Mahdi, and went to Alexandria, where wooden riverboats were still being made. It is now believed to have been known as a solar barge, a ritual vessel to carry the king with the sun god Ra across the heavens. However, it bears some of the signs of having been used, a fact which has baffled many researchers, due to the ship's only purpose being that of floating in the sky. It is possible that the ship was either a funerary barge used to carry the king's embalmed body from Memphis to Giza, or even that Khufu himself used it as a pilgrimage ship to visit holy places, and that it was buried for him to use in the afterlife. Yet burning questions arise from such conclusions. Firstly, how would the ship fly? Secondly, if the ship was indeed intended to be used in King Khufu's afterlife, why was it resting in pieces beneath the pyramid? And why did it show wear from use within the king's life? Did this ship somehow once possess the power of flight? Did ancient Egyptians? We have been covering a lot recently in regards to the compelling evidence left by the ancient Egyptians, revealing their advanced ability to traverse most of the Earth prior to Columbus. Is the solar ship a piece of this puzzle? Kamal el-Malak, who somehow predicted the existence of the ship and has been attributed with its discovery in 1954 through his extensive personal research of the area over 14 years, initially found another pit, also at the foot of the Great Pyramid. Unfortunately, it seems this layer had been robbed shortly before he found it. Archaeologists and Egyptologists alike rejected his claims of some sort of ship having been within this empty cavern. Yet when the other pit was found, which did indeed contain a ship, his prior claim was vindicated. How did Kamal know he would later claim that he believed something rather special was stolen from that first cavern? Could it have been the thing which made the ship work? Regardless of this other cavern's lost contents, the solar boat is certainly an amazing thing in its own right.